down.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And you mentioned players to watch. Day, you said is pretty good.
Yeah, from what I've seen, Day's a pretty solid player. The rest of their team, I'm a bit sketchy on, so I wouldn't go into like super fine details with you, but I would
Yeah.
expect to keep an eye on Day and see what he does in this game.
Don't want to accidentally shout out a bottom fragger.
Yeah, it'd be pretty awkward now if he goes like 0 for 14. Scrubcaster reporting type thing. So this is hopefully Day, please perform. But we are
Here.
into the first round, I believe, Launders. We just had the knife round there. So Temp are going to be starting on CT, Vination on the terrorist side, and looking to push on towards the B site here. There are two CTs laid in wait. That's Korn and PNT, who are at the backside of the app's going to be opening up with the USP. Get the first frag onto Kicker. A nice shot there, and the second as well. PNT going huge. He has been shut down, though, and that is going to leave B very much open for the bomb to be planted. That's just what happens. Morin, though, will get the headshot onto Oli Pally. And now the CTs are definitely going to be looking for that retake, trying to channel it in a Titan. They have got the second frag as well in this exchange, and it's soon to be a third, surely. No, oh, it will finally go down. I thought for a second that Fadam was going to escape and somehow clutch this round out, but no. The first round goes to the CTs.
Yeah, it can get a lot closer than it seems with 3 players up. Just having the bomb down is a huge advantage and getting players to peek into your angles, but Temp.no hit some really nice shots that round. I mean, PNT got full flash. I think the execution on the B was really good through the smoke, and they actually cleared top balcony, which I was surprised they did, and got that frag for free, but PNT getting 2 was huge, and then the retake was just headshots, so they did a really nice job on the shooting front there to win that round on CT. So are going to be buying up right now, and they aren't going to be going up against the buy of Vination. So I guess one talking point going into this round is that they won't be forcing any rebuy they force is going to be very expensive, but Temp.no are kind of forfeiting some of the kill bonus that you can get from SMGs. And I think if they knew that Vination weren't going to spend any money on armor, they would have opted to buy some cheaper guns so you can get a bigger kill reward.
Yeah, definitely true. And maybe the mind game's coming to fruition here from Vination, who do get themselves a kill in this eco. If they can get another one, I'll be pretty happy with this round, but it doesn't look to be the case. Nope, there is Date from stairs onto Oli Pally, and that's a quick fire 2-0. Only lost 1 player in the second round as well. So Temp moving forward here. There should be a buy up from Vination. Indeed, it will be. AK-47s across the board. They're going to be looking to pounce all of those sites. In fact, no, they get a Galil because they wanted to make sure they got an extra smoke and a couple flashbangs. Smart play, really, from Hank.
Yeah, surprisingly, Day is actually already able to get an op, and I think they're expecting a buy up here since they didn't see one second round with a plant on the first. So Vination are going to have a full buy here with 3 smokes and some flashes, and Temp.no are going to be well prepared for with an op and all the rifles. So I guess the early buy does work out for them.
Yep, definitely the case. And there's that mandate with the op from Ladder Room. And that is going to put a quick dampener on this third round for the Finnish-Swedish hybrid. 3 Swedes and 2 Finns, I believe, on their side. It used to be more Finns than Swedes. I think it switched around very recently, maybe even March, the end of March kind of time. So have to see how this team performs. And you were saying this as well in the warm-up, that they've got fantastic aim. So maybe, in the future we'll start to see some of these players rise to the top of the EU scene. That being said, though, Kicky gets himself 2 kills. And in the blink of an eye, a round that I thought was going to comfortably go to the CTs is opened wide here from the T's perspective, because they've got that bomb planted, and now they're going to try and fend off this retake. The Molotov is going to get the frag onto Kicker, which is going to be a bit of a pain for him. I'm hoping that his 2 teammates can come to the rescue.
Yeah, and they are pushing in as he pushes through the apps.
Yeah, he's just hiding in there, waiting for the CTs to come on in. Exchange frags. And now it's all Oli Pally. He's been spotted out. Oh, that's real poor aim from PNT, who picks up the pieces with the USP, but really should have had that with the M4. Regardless, bomb defused. Quick 3-0 to Temp.no.
Yeah, that almost got really ugly quickly there, as he did whiff some shots on a player who wasn't even looking at him, but Temp.no do come away with that round, and I thought after Day got those opening 2 picks, just like you did, that it was just going to be really tough for Vination. But it seemed like we're just kind of peeking them one at a time, and it seemed a bit risky, but still managed to come away with it. But that's the importance of entry frags, right? One player gets 2 entry frags, suddenly a 3v5 is a 3v3, and you're all grouped up to take a site. So they did get the bomb down, but are not going to be buying here. Instead, we'll be half buying in an attempt to plant one more time, and probably wanting to do some economic damage. Kicker is going to be the lurker, but he's going to go down first, so that's a huge hitch in their plans.
Yeah, a lot of information to PNT as well, who's now just kind of pushing around mid, minding his own business. Vidane from the site, pushing through very comfortably indeed onto jungle, which is going to be a bit of a head scratcher because he got the plant down. And Temp.no, you can say, you know, they want to retake the site, but this is just pistols, and they've got Kevlar, but not a great deal else. So it's going to be a bit of a, I'm not sure if you call it a misplay, Launders, but I don't feel like Vination should have got on that site there.
Yeah,
Whoa! He actually gets the clutch. I thought that round was over. I thought it was done. The plant had come down. That's it. Let's move on to round number 5. But somehow Vination get the round. And I was saying before it was a mistake to let them plant. Now it definitely was. Because they had to go for the defuse, and that just played right into their hands.
I thought I was going to applaud Temp.no for having the kind of the calm sense to know that they had to retake a site once they had allowed the bomb to go down, and the opening pick had come out into connector, and that's what had stopped them from being able to initially stop the bomb, because their lurker died right away and it was 4v5, right? And so they were planning to keep him alive so they could plan for connector, but then that was open, so they had to kill the guy in connector, so they did that, and then they planted the bomb, and then the retake was coming out, everyone was in great positions, and they still managed to lose because Feden, with the huge plays, gets another 2 no-scopes at the A ramp. And another 3 players left alive for Temp.no, who were on a save, but a huge eco round for Vination. That was insane. And I mean, basically on the back of Fiden's huge individual play. It's another 3 kills this round. Excuse me.
Oh man, I wonder if he's watching Kenny S.
Yeah,
That's
all you have to do. That's all you have to do, folks.
Just no scope for days.
Yep.
Easy peasy. And Vination out of nowhere have themselves 2 rounds, and this. You know, from a real scrappy fifth round. No, sorry, fourth. I was doubting myself. 4th round that should have gone the way of Temp.no. This could easily be 5-0 right now. And instead, 3-2, and Vination are coming in against 2 FAMASes, and they've got 2 entry frags from Typester as well. Absolutely huge. Day on the cross, though, will come in with the AWP from jungle, and they need someone to stand up tall, and he might just be the man for the job. They've rotated everybody over to A, though, and you can see that bomb is snaking its way very quickly from Hank onto B site, and this will be a free plant unless PNT can get himself back through window onto kitchen, but I don't think he's going to be able to do so. This bomb will be planted.
Yeah, it was a perfect rotate. I mean, they didn't even mean to sell a fake there, having Tipster get 2 kills on the site by himself, running up dry through a smoke. I mean, you can't really plan for that. I mean, they figured that it was just going to be a full-on A-take, which was really out of the blue for them to do it, but it seemed to be the perfect play. And I think he did only went up against like a FAMAS or something like that, so it made that a little bit easier. But rotating back to B was a smart rotate, and they kept 1 player in the site just to let Temp.no know that it could still be an A play, and now are forcing them to save. So far, Vination are able to. They have really strong entries. And it's a huge reason they're able to get the bomb plant so often, let alone win rounds like they're doing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they've forced Temp.no to save those weapons. It doesn't look like they're going to lose any of them, so they are going to be taking the AWP and 2 assault rifles through to round number 7. But Vination, they've really been turning it on these last couple of rounds, and they're looking good. I mean, Temp.no, again, they're going to get some weapons across the board, but it's just a FAMAS. And what are they going to go for Ans? That's a FAMAS for him as well, so this is not the greatest buys.
No, I mean, good for them that they were able to save, but they had the wrong read there. I'm sure they would have gone over to B if they knew, but Feden again opens up another round here with an opening pick.
And that's the AWP dead. Right off the bat, in 15-20 seconds, the AWP is down. That one of the star players there, he's not going to play any further part of this round, and he's going to have to watch his teammates potentially salvage this one, but it's not looking good for them. They've lost the 2nd player and the 3rd for Dan again. He's been a man on fire. Ans from Shadow. He's going to get himself 2. And he's still relatively healthy. Gets himself a 3rd as well onto Fadan. Surely not. Surely he goes down. Yes, he does, but he buys up enough time for Korn to move his way into jungle. And now in this 1 versus 1, the CT has the advantage unless he goes peeking, and he does. And Vination get a 4th.
Oh my god. And it was, again, so back and forth. These rounds are cataclysmic, as Temp.no with losing 2 picks in the A site, and then having their last man alive get 3 frags from Shadow with a FAMAS and really low HP was huge. And then it came down to a 1v1, and Tib played that really nicely, just sitting the connector patiently, knowing that the rotate was going to come out, and that it was either going to be from jungle in the next few seconds or from CT maybe later on, and just held that long enough so that he could get the kill and secure the round. Well played.
Temp.no rolled the dice. They got themselves a couple grenades and did do significant damage to Kicker and Ollie Pally, but didn't get a frag on either of them. They're hoping for at least once they could just charge in and pick the weapons up. As it stands, though, and it's a lovely one-click from Moyne onto the head of Kicker. Maybe that is the foundations that they can build upon. They went 3-0 up. They're now 4-3 behind. So again, a very streaky game. There's another kill from the 5-7, and he's coming up behind. Doesn't quite manage to connect the dots, and he will get punished as a result from Hank. But two players have been found out. But there is a quick-fire double from Vination. And it's all on that man Korn once again, who's in familiar territory. And it is the same result from Jungle. He gets put down, and it's 5-3 now for Vination, who are looking extremely strong on this T side.
Yeah, very, very strong. I mean, they even came close to winning the pistol with a great execute. And obviously came away with that eco round, or... Yeah, that eco round after they lost the rifle or their early buy, and almost won that early buy with those two entries in the 3v3. The retake's been good from Temp.no, but overall, Vination have been excellent at closing out rounds and also winning rounds when they're not supposed to. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. It will be another buy-up round from Temp.no, and that is a nice shot from Day through the smoke onto Tubstar. I'm not too sure how much he knew about that one, but it's worth just spraying across in case someone tries to cross onto the middle boxes. So you can understand his thought process behind that, and they need all the luck they can get. As you can see Kicker there lurking in underpass, trying to just catch a glimmer of anybody. Moyne there with the AWP. Let's get a nice shot onto Hank. And now, for the first time in, well, 5 or 6 rounds, Temp.no are in a position they can get around comfortably, and that's exactly what needs to happen. They need to get this one under their bag, under their belt, I should say, in the bag. There's a pop flash from Ans. He knows there's a player there. It is Kicker who moved his way into connector from underpass. And now that leaves only 2 of these players remaining. Fadan, one of which has been on fire so far, but only 17 HP. He just saw his teammate get taken out in front of his eyes. There's the first one. Can he do the impossible? Can he pull off the 1v5 clutch with 17 HP and 30 seconds left? That doesn't look likely. He's down to 3 HP. He's been dropped. And Temp finally break the curse. They get their 4th round on the board.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if Temp.no were able to win a lot more rounds convincingly. I feel like they are mad at themselves for the rounds they've lost so far. And on some of these retakes and stuff like that, they do look very, very strong, very confident team. But Vination are kind of like NIP in the last map, like close to meeting their quota in the half. I mean, on the T side of Mirage, if you get 5 rounds, sometimes that can be enough. For some teams, it's not enough. But others it can be. So here we are into another rifle round. This round will determine, I think, actually neither team will probably have to save after a loss here. So good economic management on both sides. But an opening pick from Day once again on Cat, and they're going to put pressure on him. Split B.
They definitely are, and he's just caught from 2 or 3 players. He needed some help there. Korn was on benches, but there was almost a worry that he may team kill his mate there because he was in the way. He was directly in the fire. So Korn goes down without really as much as a whimper, and that bomb has been planted on. PNT down to 16, and the retake, it's not on the cards. Temp.no are going to save. They're going to pull themselves back, tail between their legs, and give away that 6th round to Vination, who, you know, Launders, what is it about this CT side that Temp.no are failing on? Because Vination are making this look really easy. They're making these B pushes especially look simple, and it's anything but that.
Yeah, well, in that round, you have to take it round by round sometimes. You can't just... it depends on the, if the team is just playing bad as a whole. But yeah, that round, they got an opening pick. They had 45, and then they lost Day without a trade, and they lost Korn without a trade. And Korn was a solo man in the site, so once they died, it was almost like he had to get 2, and he wasn't even able to get 1. That would have made the retake significantly easier. And I mean, if they went for it, who knows if they would have won. They just didn't feel like they had the resources that they needed to do it. But once they get that man advantage, I think it's important to really turtle up a lot more than they're doing so that they can secure at least a trade for the person who dies, and that was Day in that round.
Absolutely, and they do, because of that save, manage to get themselves 2 AWPs on the board. So one on Moen and the other on Day. Moen did get the first frag of the half there, the round I should say, onto Feden. The second of which is going to be Kick Up, who getting a bit predictable maybe. He's moved to that position a bunch of times through underpass to connector, and he got caught off guard completely. Now Vination, after a phenomenal round onto B, are looking to rinse and repeat and go back there again. However, this is under very different circumstances. They only have 3 players left, 2 of which have smokes and flashes.
Yeah, we've seen this before. The group up for B, they try to hit the entry. Corner's actually going to push up and make some noise. I think just to let the team know that he might be closer than he is, and that'll allow him some extra time as they take their time clearing out the apps. And jump spotting B is the perfect play here. He's going to fall off back into the site, wait for rotates, and try to hit his shots.
Oh, he did catch a glimpse of a couple of players on short. Does finally connect the dots and get that frag, but at the expense of his own life. And now Ollie Pally with 4 HP. I thought that grenade had him. I thought he was a dead man. But he does just about survive for a few more seconds, only to be met by Days Orp. And, well, Temp.no do get their 5th round. So the Norwegians, they're digging themselves in here, but I feel they've got to get the rest of these rounds if they want a chance on the T half.
Yeah, they're struggling a little bit, and it seems to be both sites that are kind of evenly being taken by Vination. That's because they've got sick entries. I mean, they're oftentimes getting 2 kills with no trade from the other team, and that might be because of good shooting, it might be because of catching them off guard, or maybe a combination of the two. But here we are into that same strat that they were trying to do previously, but once again, their lurker goes down, and will they split up as they jumped out of the window, capitalized on opportunity?
That's the key thing. They have every opportunity to get this round, and they do now have 2-man advantage, but Vination are pushing onto that site, and they've got the bomb planted. So this is very doable. Moen very low, so is Ans. Both down to around the same HP, around the 15 mark. Tybest has got himself a frag onto Korn, who was lurking, flanking from the backside. Now Moen with the AWP is going to do work. They still have the player advantage, but 2 of them are so low. That's a beautiful smoke and grenade through onto ramp. Flashbangs as well. They're spraying across the Tetris, and here comes the spray down from Vination, and they somehow clutch out that round that looked like it may be slipping away. And that's a round that Temp.no are going to be pretty disgusted at. They lost. They find themselves in an eco position as well.
He must have been so close to actually landing the defuse. Once they smoked the A ramp, that round should have been over. They had 2 players to watch the smoke, 1 player to defuse, and Venation's still able to win. I mean, they shouldn't have even gotten the site, I feel like. Once the lurker had gotten killed, they knew it was going to be A. They still had 3 players in A, and they still lost. And that's just Venation straight up out shooting them.
Yeah, I can imagine there's going to be some harsh words said between the Norwegians after that one. That should be 6-6 right now. But instead, they're on eco, and they're 7-5 behind just to rub salt in the wounds. They're going to be trying to get as much info as possible, pushing through onto ramp, now to T-spawn, but they're going to find Tybuster there. He gets 1, looking for that second. Can't connect it, but the damage has been done elsewhere on the map. They've got the entries, they're going to get the bomb down, and surely they're going to get their 8th round on top of that. So a great T-half already for Vination, and there's still a couple more rounds to go.
Yeah, it's always been Temp.no that's been put in the position that they need to trade better, and Vination being able to get the 2 kills with 1 player quite often, almost never having to trade for their team, and that pressure on Temp.no is resulting in them having only 5 rounds on the CT side on an eco right now, about to be down 5-8. Vination are starting to run away with this half, and I think the key thing is just the trading is much worse on Temp.no than it needs to be.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a fair comment to make, because as we're speaking, their kicker does get taken down, so he's not going to be taking that weapon round through the next round. They're not too bothered about that. They got Tabista, who's on 8.8k, so no worries. Yeah, it definitely seems that way, that when it's down to these trades, Vination are typically walking ahead. They're getting these bomb plants down, and then from the retakes, it's pretty much always going their way. You can see no grenades on Ans, a FAMAS on Moen, but there is enough weaponry to play with here for Temp.no to take it 8-7 at half time, which is best case scenario for them right now.
Yeah, I feel like when Day gets rolling, like he's going to be able to get those 2, 3, 4 kills in a round, but sometimes in these rounds, he's getting 1 or 2 kills and then going for a third and then dying, and then that's actually putting his team in jeopardy, who should be able to from there win the round anyway, but you know, him dying puts that in jeopardy almost. And Kicker is going to be pushing through the underpass once again, and this might be red really easily. I mean, they just send him here every single time.
Look how easy it is for Vination to just push through the flashes, the smokes, everything. They've got the bomb, they've got 2 openers. Now they're looking for another one. They spot a player on short, that was Korn. He got tagged up, 49 HP off him. And this is going to be yet another round to Vination. And I'm kind of scratching my head a tiny bit here, Launders. It's just, they're making the T side look so simple.
Yeah, and again, it's great entries. That the site take was good. They're able to get all the way up to A ramp, and a team is executing like that on you fully and constantly going A. You need to be playing like closer up to the ramp, you know, trading out early, because if Temp.no's retakes are really good, they should focus on that, and they have been. But like in that round, for example, 2 players are dying in the site when you could have like a 5-on-5 retake if you really need to do that. But they had 1 player push into under Balak, and Vination threw a great flash through the smoke and just pushed him and didn't really give him a chance to even get a kill. So it seems like they're just reading the map really well. Vination looking super strong right now. Just have Temp.no's number. When I thought, honestly, after the first few rounds, even though Temp.no had lost a couple of them, that they looked like the stronger team, just more confident. But I don't know. Vination just as confident, I guess.
Yeah, and you look at the kill spread across the board, there's not a huge amount of difference in the kill tallies. I mean, there's small differences here and there, but nothing's like glaring out. It's not like one team has got double the frags of the other. Day is top of the scoreboard, 13 and 9, not that far behind Tybuster or Fadan. But it's these close, claustrophobic environments where Temp.no are just crumbling. It's the same every time. As you said, it's those trades that constantly go in their favor.
Yeah, and then we had Day. He was playing up close ramp, but after some noise on the other side of the map, have decided to focus on the mid control a little bit late, which can be harder for CTs to take it late, that is, and Pint goes down instantly. Kicker gets a frag as well, and again, no trades, so Moen is going to have pressure put on him in the connector, and he might be able to find a frag here, maybe 2. No, Hank actually. Oh, and everyone just goes down instantly. Not a single trade so far.
I was expecting the player there on stairs to do more from that position. He completely caught them off guard, but 5-7.
Yeah. Sometimes it's amazing. Sometimes not.
Bit of a frustrating weapon. Korn is going to try and do his best here in the final round. No point in him saving, of course, because we are going to be switching sides as soon as this round comes to its conclusion. Korn down to 73. All 3 players are pretty low, though, but it's not going to matter. There's Kicker from Connector with a beautiful AK-47 shot to the face. 10-5, your halftime scoreline. Vination now on the easier side of the CTs.
Yeah, looking really good in this best of 1 in main, and they've got all the rounds they need. I mean, they can't feel any other way. We're just gonna ready up, go into the pistol, and if Temp.no win this, we might see a really nice T side from them. It seems like they do play really carefully, play really, you know, together as a team. I can see that for sure. That does bleed through even on the rounds they're losing, but at the same time, if you're just getting outshot and also not able to, you know, kill people blind, you know, forget shooting. If you're a CT, you should be killing people blind most of the time, and they're not even able to do that, then you're going to have a really tough time overall. So here we have a full A strat here from Temp.no, 3 apps, 2 ramp. I've seen LGB do this so often. I really like it. Smoke off the left side of site, or the right side of site, and push and leave CT wide open.
They're stacking in Palace and Ramp. So let's see if they can all push out together and get that unison on board. Seems to be the case so far. Day gets the opener with a nice headshot onto Ollie Pally. There's a nice one as well from Ans on top of Shadow. Beautiful long-range headshot and Korn. So this has been a good round for Temp.no, just what the doctor ordered for them. Desperately needed this pistol, and they should get it, barring a ridiculous clutch play. And it's now all on Fadan. We did see some beautiful plays from him with the AWP, but not quite able to channel that with the pistol. Temp.no take it with ease.
Yeah, that was definitely smoke for smoke. LGB's pistol strat, I don't know if that's where it came from, though. Might not be theirs. But Temp.no executed it really well. Pushed into the site, got all the way through CT, got control of it, got the bomb down. Everyone got a kill. And it was a very, very strong round overall. Vination here are going to be buying on a few players, actually all of them. So I don't think we'll be hoping to buy an op on future rounds if they do lose. Hank is actually down here, and I wonder, can you see an arm? I guess you can't. if you're down in the underpass, and we'll find out soon as PNT is about to walk right by him, and does spot him out right away.
Yep, rip.
Rip
Execution
indeed.
style frag there from PNT onto Hankin. He tried to get information, he tried to get a sneaky kill, didn't pay off for him, and now CTs are backs against the wall once again with this force buy of theirs. They have the grenade and flashbang on Kicker. They got themselves a Deagle, which definitely can do crazy things in Counter-Strike, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weapon that I personally feel infuriated by, though, Launders. It seems so random. Like, sometimes you pull off sick, sexy one clicks, and then the next time you can shoot all 7 bullets, it's like, nope, no tags.
Yeah, it's
GG Valve.
It's for cool shots and like getting that one shot from long range or something, but it's not reliable.
Oh,
I mean, I buy it all the time. I just still hate it though. Love
me
hate.
too. It's a love-hate relationship, that's for sure. When you pull off one of those shots like that we just saw, it's like everything feels great with the world, but when you miss, not so much. However, Oberster with that frag has given his side a glimmer of hope. There is a light at the end of the tunnel for a few more seconds. There's Kicker with the CZ, but players are falling left, right, instead of Tybuster gets a second one. And now it's a one-on-one, and it's not going to happen for him. Day is too powerful with the AK, picks up his third of the round, and takes Temp.no to 7-10 behind. So it was a rough start for them, but they are starting to get some momentum on the board.
Yeah, that was a very, very expensive round. I mean, they were still within one of saving, and
true, yeah.
Vination, did they actually invest a lot of money in that round? I mean, I feel like they're kind of low, but...
Kevlar and a couple of pistol upgrades.
Right, okay. So they did do what they needed to do, and Temp.no did come away with the round win, which is going to leave them on a kind of even keel here, as the Temp.no will have another opportunity to build up their bank by going up against a full eco terrorists, or for full eco CTs, excuse me, and it's kind of a posturing towards middle on both sides, but a smoke towards cat. So you might have an easier time going into connector.
Oh, Moen with the heat-seeking nade there, landed by the feet of Hank. And that is him dead and buried in window room. Meanwhile, the terrorists aren't pouncing on that opportunity just yet. They're still opting to play slow. Not giving anything away needlessly through short. Here we go. Day's taking point. Does get a couple shots off onto Kicker, who's down to 66. Here comes the flashbang. Tybuster's not flashed up, though, and he could make them pay, but it's not going to happen. Gets one and gets dropped down, but they're definitely being lined up here, the terrorists. Moen down to 6 HP. And there is Ans, and suddenly it's all on Fadan once again with the P2K. There's a nice opener frag for him. Bomb's been planted, and he will be taken down. So Vination now, with their money, should... No, they won't be able to buy up.
Well, it'll
Yes,
be
they
out
will.
now.
Just
Yeah.
My money count didn't update. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
He's still
It's
got
really
$300.
If you have like a player alive saving, it like updates theirs first or something. So
Yeah.
sometimes you get a different message. But Vination, we'll here have 5 M4s, some nades, pretty much as many nades as I think you need. Temp.no are beating them a little bit in that department. Are going to be smoking mid here and probably trying to take control of it. Have 5 AKs themselves, and we'll, I guess, try to find an early pick. I'm not sure what their strategy is, but it looks like, a split connector is probably imminent.
Yeah, seems to be the case right now. And Temp.no have won every round on T side, albeit pistol and then converted rounds, so it's nothing to sing and dance about just yet. This would be a very big round for them if they can take this one. They do lose the first player. It is their talisman of day, but there is Korn to fill in the blanks. But Temp.no still haven't burst through onto that A site. The CTs are holding fast. It's just Fadan by himself. I say that, but he is a player that has been on fire so far. You feel he could take out a few players just by his lonesome.
No, they're waiting on
pushing
Korn to try to make a play here, but Moen's actually moving in by himself as well. Ollie Pulley will go down. Hank will go down as well, so that's 2 entries. And now Kicker holding the flank, I think here. It's going to be a retake situation for the CTs.
Looks to be the case. Kicker coming through jungle. His teammate Fadan coming through from CT spawn. Moen in ramp, and Ans is firebox. So these are pretty good positions to hold off from, especially if you can connect those AK-47 rounds. Going to throw out the Molotov. That's going to force Fadan to push. And Ans gets his second kill. Nicely done by him. And Temp.no do keep that win streak continuing going forward. That's a huge round for them.
Yeah, a critical round. Once again, we see the pistol. You survive the 2 ecos, the force fire, whatever it may be, and after you take another rifle round, you've pretty much been offered up 5 rounds in a row. So that's going to mean Temp.no are going to be in a good position to even up once again. and maybe take a lead in this game. Though they'll have to do it off the back of a rifle round next.
You can see here they are getting kills very, very quickly, our Temp.no, as the CTs try and roll the dice and see if they can get a couple kills here for free, but that's not going to happen. Oli Pally, last player alive, he's in the smoke, in underpass, and hoping that somebody walks into his trap, but it's unlikely that's going to happen, especially with the P250 as well. He's just ate some damage from that grenade. He's going to be peeking out, and there's Day. Surely, there we go with a headshot, and he moves on to his 21st frag. So far, he's been doing me proud here, Launders. I said he's one to watch, and he's not 0 for 14 on me.
Yeah, yeah, and a half. Yeah, he's doing really well. But here's a very pivotal round for Vination, where we see if they're going to end up like NIP going down 0-7, or if they're going to be able to break the spell, win around on CT side, maybe get started. But overall, Temp.no have looked very strong. That round was very good for them. Didn't lose a single player. Have 5 AKs. You know, barely had to use any nades to win it, and so it didn't cost them a lot of money at all. And we're in the site. That other rifle round, we had 3 players in the site, but they still couldn't hold it. So now versus the full A, how much success are they going to have?
They got so much money saved up as well. They can buy a bunch of other times. There's Kicker though with a lovely double, looking for a third. He gets it as well. He has been silenced, but beautiful work from him. And this is going to be that curse lifted surely day. And the man that's left standing, but not for long. Oli Pally gets the frag. 15 HP left, but it doesn't matter. And Vination move themselves ahead once more. But as I said, so much money for Temp.no. They can easily buy back up again without any issues.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason that surviving those eco rounds, keeping so many players alive is so important. But Kicker getting 3 kills that round is insane. They probably would have won if he only got 2, but even those 2 were crazy. Just that spray through the smoke, as he knew they were going to come up and execute, was very good. Now they were able to hold the A site, Vination take a lead, and that's going to do a lot for their economy. But they don't want to lose one after winning, or they don't want to lose one after winning one after losing 5, so because that'll hurt their economy quite a bit. And the opening pick does go to Day once again, who's been so good at getting opening picks, it seems like, on either side, but even out right now by Kicker. And there's a trade.
Yeah, because that keyword momentum, you don't want to reset your round loss bonus only to lose, because it puts you in a horrible economic position. But they are doing a pretty nice job so far. 3 for 3 are the amount that are remaining on the map right now. Tybuster, Kicker, and Fadan from Vination are going to be spreading themselves out evenly. Kicker on stairs. The bomb is being planted. Moen is watching the back of his teammate. Does get a nice shot onto Kicker. And this is what we're talking about. This is exactly what the CTs wanted to avoid. Tybuster's giving him an opportunity once again to bounce back. Fadan's still on those CT boxes. There's a grenade. Lands on the head of Ans, but he's still alive and kicking. And even with that low amount of HP, he could definitely make this one work. But it's the CTs who get the kills and the round. And that was so important for Vination to pick up. Now Temp.no are going to have to be digging deep into their back pocket to get some weapons on the board. And they may not be able to do so.
Yeah, 100%. 2 rifles in a row. They're going to have enough money here. I'm sure Moen with the 9,000 is going to say, you know, if we need to drop, we can do it. You only need like 1 or 2 sets of grenades on the T side to just feel comfortable taking around, and they're again not relying on an op or anything like that, so are going to make it here. But this will definitely be the last round that they will buy full if they decide to. And Vination again looked very strong there in the 2v2 retake. They had really great trades. Tipster on Cat was able to catch the player lurking at mid, and then the 2v2 came out, and it went in their favor. I mean, they kept 2 players alive, and that had to do with trades.
Yeah, definitely. And Vination now, they have the building blocks, have the foundations, I should say, to build something special for themselves. It was looking pretty one-way traffic. That grenade lands on the feet of Ans. That's going to do significant damage. 55 off him. Grenade into window from Kicker. But Horn's actually up in ladder room and does see him and does get the kill. Meanwhile, Hank holding fast on stairs. And this was the last round buffer from Temp.no to go through. After this, as he said, they're probably going to have to be looking at force buy or maybe even an eco.
Yeah.
And Vination looking good to pick up the 23rd round. Unless something huge happens from Temp.no, which right now doesn't look to be the case.
Yeah, they've got a good split here. Day might get a kill on Hank, and that's going to open up the site slightly, but Kicker comes in and with the proper crossfire finds the trade instantly, and now Ans at Moen left at A ramp are going to have to deal with many crossfires. Ollie probably is going to take them both down by himself, Vination are up to 13 rounds. We're getting to that critical point in the round score where, every round could count for 2 if you're winning rounds in a row. And yeah, no, Temp.no aren't in any position to buy here.
Yeah, they are going to be eco in this one. Oh, no, they're not. They're going for the force.
So they can...
Ballsy.
Yeah, if they do this, I mean, they have 2 AKs. If they do this, then they're going to be able to steal back what could be a disastrous game, because if Vination are able to win the next round, right, then it's just over. So at 13, you can afford to lose a round and buy for your 15th, but they're definitely doing something very risky right now.
This is high risk, high reward. But this could put them on the brink of defeat if they were to lose this one. They've already lost the first exchange in terms of hit points. PNT's down to 75, courtesy of a grenade, I believe that was, a HE from Vination. The rest of the team is just holding. Everybody's on A side. Nobody's trying to run interference through. And you can see from positions of CTs, they pretty much called this one out. They're very aggressive in mid. Here comes the push in from the flashes and the Molotovs as well. Korn on top of Tetris gets a nice headshot there, looking for the second one, but it's Day who takes it from underneath him. A 3-on-3, and Day's going for that plant in what would appear to be a very vulnerable position, but because of the smokes and the cover fire, he's able to do so. And this is going to be a tough one for the CTs to retake, especially as they've just lost Kicker, who was their player on stairs, who was looking to try and get a pick across. Moa with a lovely headshot onto Fadan, and suddenly Tiebuster in a 1 versus 3. Can he pull this one off for his team? He's got the first one, but it gets answered back from Moen, and the risk pays off. 13-11.
Yeah, really big reward for them. They are able to, I mean, it would still be a light buy if they didn't manage to keep 3 players alive there like he did, or 2 players. Because they were able to keep 2 players alive on that very risky buy, they're looking really good right now. And Vination are actually the ones who are scrounging up whatever means they have to buy here. And they're looking for a 14th round. Temp.no are just looking to even up.
That's exactly the state of the game right now that we find ourselves in. Temp.no have really been up against it after that first half performance on their CT side, but fair play to them. They have bounced back with a vengeance on T side. Is it going to be enough though? Still 2 rounds behind. Tiebuster has been tagged up to 14 HP, which is far from ideals from the CT's perspective, but he is still alive and he is still very dangerous in ladder. I'm not sure if they know exactly where he is. PNT making noise in mid. 1 minute left on the timer. Nobody has fallen just yet. The bomb over on B side in the hands of Day, and they're starting to move in now. The only player that's on B side right now is Fadan. Tiebuster's close in ladder, but remember, he's been heavily tagged down to 4 HP now. So I wonder how much use he's going to be.
Yeah, we got Hank watching Cat along with Tipster. They're going to be mauling out the window, but that's not going to do much. Now split B looks imminent. Now this is the first time I think B is going to be tested against Fadan, and he's moving over towards the back of the site. But since the window player went down, that's one of their fastest rotates.
Yeah, this is looking bad. This is looking really bad, but he's got 2 kills. And that could be the moment where the CTs bounce back and get their 14th round, and they had no right to do so. This looked like it had the T's written all over it. It's still not over just yet, but with 10 seconds to go, this would be almost impossible for Temp.no to clutch, especially as Moen's just been picked off. Ans is on 3 HP. He gets dropped. Fadan take a bell. That was unbelievable what he just pulled off there. Yes, it was only 2 frags, but he's all by himself.
Yeah, if he didn't get those 2 frags, it was over. I mean, bomb could go down. It would just be crazy, and they couldn't kill him at bench, and he was just with some patient shooting was able to get the better of them. So that's a critical round that Temp.no weren't able to win. I think going B was a good idea there. They got that pick at window. They had the means to win the round in terms of man advantage, but still couldn't close out in terms of shooting. So it's another situation where trades go the way of Vination and not to Temp.no, which I feel like has just been the pace of the game so far.
Yeah, I think that has been the main separating difference between these two. That Vination have been on point with their trading, Temp.no not so much, and that's what puts them in this 14-11 deficit on a force buy with 3 Tech-9s, P250 and a Galil. This is last chance saloon for them. If they look to lose this, their economy wouldn't be fantastic, and they'd find themselves a 4-round discrepancy they'd have to save to keep this match going, but they do get the opener, and that's going to be a weapon across today. Vination, they're looking a bit looking a bit suspect right now.
Yeah, they don't have the map control, right? They don't have mid, so they're kind of confused about where they should be looking. And from mid, Temp.no are actually able to open up a couple of the sites now. In the window is Day. Will he get the frag? He does get a third, and that's all of a sudden 3 picks in the round just for him, leaving Vination 2 players versus 5.
Again, when Temp.no force buy in these really close rounds, they have to win. They come out on top. The resilience and the tenacity of these guys is unbelievable, but there's definitely something to be said for these 2 CT rounds that we've witnessed on these force buys. They've not been very good at all. The mid has just crumbled.
Yeah. No, I mean the other force buy, I think they went just like a full A, but like maybe it's because they're playing a little bit more furiously when they're low on weapons. They're taking these risks, and these risks are working, and they need to kind of carry that over. This happens so many times, like versus where teams are able to just get these eco rounds, and they know they should be able to get rifles, and for some reason can't, and don't figure it out. And I can't put it to anything else, but you're playing maybe a little bit more fearlessly, or taking risks that you need to. When you're used to playing maybe a little bit more structured, and this team is just very good at playing against a structured team, or maybe they're just really good at telegraphing what you're going to do. Kind of change that up by not doing what they expect, and just not doing what you even expect from yourself, just going with the flow of the round and working your picks. Because definitely, I mean, Tempo are no team to be slept on. They have very good aim and seem to be very structured, but when it comes to the full takes, they're not doing so hot. And Kicker, taking some stops at A ramp is not going to work out too well.
He didn't even do that much damage to them either. Yeah, he dropped 2 players low, but for the cost of his life, it's definitely not worth. And here we go. It's all Ollie Pally. He's been picked off from Moen. And again, Vination are falling by the wayside. Just the Deagle remains on that man once again. Tabesta got a couple of really nice Deagle shots. The last time with that grenade, there was the 3-pointer. PNT will get the last frag, and Temp.no move on to 13.
Yeah, and they actually opted to buy on that round, so they're going to save here and buy next, and then that does make sense to force up in that situation. You can still avoid match point, but it's at this point where Temp.no have definitely won the majority of the T rounds on Vination CT side, and it's Vination that have to prove themselves, getting kind of a few rounds in the middle, but not many overall. This rush B is going to happen, and there's 4 players in the site, but one goes down this way.
Yeah, this should be pretty much another day at the office as far as as far as Temp.no are concerned, but they have lost 2 players. Not quite as seamless as they were hoping for. However, 14-14 is the scoreline. Vination will be able to buy back up now, but they're going to have no AWP, and they're not going to have a particularly fantastic buy up here. It's going to be solid, it's going to be enough, but I'm sure they'd prefer more grenades.
Yeah, absolutely, and the op might be really, really good for them. I mean, this is an op-friendly map if there ever was one. It's a huge map. Your op can be very mobile with only taking a few steps from window, watching apps. They can watch connector. They can watch underpass. They can watch cat. They can do everything, and they don't have that option. But I haven't opted to do that even on rounds where I think they've had enough money. Unless I'm mistaken, they haven't opted.
Yeah, I think that's right. Actually, I think they've typically gone for assault rifles.
Yeah, which is not all that bad, and op is never quintessential, I think, unless it's like Dust 2, but at the same time might be the change of pace they need, as Temp.no are very, very close to actually come away with a 15th round, and for them, if they win the 15th round, they pretty much win the game, whereas Vination will have to win 2 rifle rounds in a row to win. So maybe you could say Temp.no are actually in a better spot to at least tie here.
Yeah, that's a good point that you make. It's a very good point. And it's also a case that Vination have to win this round like pretty solidly as well.
Yeah.
If they were to lose, say, 4 players, then they're going to be in a pretty sticky situation, So, yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying. This is going to be Temp.no trying to use that pressure to their advantage. No one's dropped just yet. Not a lot of information after, well, over a minute in this round. 30 seconds remain on the timer. And here comes the push. And again, it's the entry frag going in the way of the Norwegians. Hank's been dropped. Kicker comes back with a frag of his own. And it's just pretty much tit for tat at this point, where Vination do start to open up with a bit of an advantage. Need to be careful, that bomb's been planted. There's still somebody lurking in connector, and that is going to be Moen, and he's in a good position to strike, but he doesn't get anything. What a shot from Diebuster onto Moen. I thought he was going to be the player to watch this round.
Yeah, I thought that round was over. I thought Temp.no had that locked up. They came up the A ramp, they mollied Shadow, who was under there. I think it was Hank, or maybe it was Ollie Polly under Shadow, and he threw a smoke on himself and sat there, and his teammate died on the site, and he really didn't have a play because he knew he couldn't come up A ramp and he had to stay alive under Balk. And then they knew he was there, and then they went to kill him, and then Kicker came out of jungle and killed 3 people, like once again with the 3 frags on the A site to win the round. But once again, this is just to mention this. This doesn't mean Tempo's out of this at all. They have just as much money as they've ever wanted to win a round, and it's on Vination to actually win 2 rifle rounds in a row here to seal it up.
Yeah, definitely. They have themselves an AWP as well, a Moen. And it was between Moen and Day who were using it on the CT side. I remember commenting that they had a double AWP set up at one point now on CT. So Moen is definitely capable with the AWP to pull off crazy stuff. But Vination, all they have to do is rinse and repeat from the last round. They sat in deep, they played very disciplined, and they reaped the rewards for their struggles. And so far, so good for them.
What a good name. Whoa! What a...
Geez, 6 HP. And this is deja vu. We've seen him in like 6 HP territory before in ladder, and he ended up dying, and that's when Fadan pulled off the double kill, I think it was, all by himself on B. But Kicker is going to fall down, and with Tybuster only on 6, this gives Temp a huge advantage in what could be a 15-15 scoreline. Oh my goodness.
And that does open up options here. Tipster's in A with his teammate Oli Poli, but Tipster, as you mentioned, only has 7 HP, so wouldn't matter.
Oh man, this is brutal for the CTs. They're not potentially going to get a single kill here. It's all on Fadan. 1 versus 5.
I mean, overtime is imminent at this point, and yeah, not a single kill on that round. Temp.no actually come away with it. So Vination, very lucky to have come away with the round there. In the middle of all that, Temp.no have been working the T side very well, at least after figuring out Vination. And I always credit the team, once it's 5-5, the team who had won the later rounds, is they're the ones making adjustments, as opposed to the team kind of catching them off guard in the beginning. I guess both teams look very strong overall, getting 10 rounds on T side. I think in those last couple of rounds, A site was a little bit weaker for Vination, but also mid, I think, was given up pretty much to Temp.no.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a fair thing to say. We just have to see if they plug those gaps, because they've had plenty of rounds to work with now. I mean, I'm sure they can look back on those and say, okay, yeah, maybe mid was a bit of a weakness for us. Maybe we can try and do more in that respect, and maybe even run with an AWP. But it doesn't seem to be the case here, as again they're going to go for full assault rifles in Vination, but they are pushing mid. This is something we didn't see from them last time around.
Watching the stream, you might say.
Maybe.
And working apps by himself while they kind of posture over towards B. Mid control is theirs, and they've thrown a really aggressive smoke up here, so no one's even going to try to come up here soon. Tipster's going to be pushing to the boxes. Actually get some damage off on Day. That's some really nice stuff. I think just seeing the tracers.
28 HP left on him. He has to just back on away. There's no point trying to get a return frag there, because you're always going to come out second best. And now Temp.no, they're going to use every second at their disposal, throwing over the flashes towards mid, trying to maybe bait that one out for the rest of the team. You can see they have a very split approach here. You've got Korn in mid, PNT is coming through underpass. It looks like they're going to try and converge on mid. Maybe try and come through connector while also pushing ramp and palace. That's what I'm assuming here, like a 3-pronged attack. Yeah,
and actually Vination are onto this, as they're rotating immediately. And will the picks come out? Kicker actually does find one.
But it's that connector. It's what I was saying before, that they're just going to push through connector while they push through palace and ramp, and it's so many different angles for the CTs to cover. But it's Kicker in Shadow who does work, and Moen by himself. Another round that I thought Temp.no were going to walk away with. Vination they chime together, and they get the frags when it matters. 16 to 15, of course, 19, that magic number now.
I mean, if those rotates didn't come out as soon as they did, I agree with you. Like, the A split would have worked really well. Vination just had perfect rotates. Their players in jungles and CT were there. Typically the CT guy gets there from B after the bomb goes down, whereas they were there before the bomb even got to the site. So that was some really good rotating from Vination, who read that really well. And I don't think they had much information. They just assumed it wasn't going to be B, as Temp.no have gone A so many times. And this time nipped it in the butt and decided to stack it early. I'm not actually sure what tipped them off, though.
Maybe just the spidey senses tingling, but Ollie Pally completely caught with his pants down there in Palace, and he gets punished. And again, I was going to give Temp.no a glimmer of hope, but we have seen them get entries before and not really do a great deal with it on the T side. Vination seem to be a very well-oiled machine on CT at points. On A especially, you can see they've got 3 players stacked here, and again, it's like they've read the script and they know exactly what's about to come up.
Yeah.
Is that maybe predictability on the part of Temp.no?
Yeah, they do like to play slow, and I think it's kind of affecting them as Vination have a good idea of what they're going to do. But Corn comes over and gets an opening pick, and that can ruin any kind of read that you do have.
Certainly can. You can see PNT is biding his time, looking to push through connector, but he gets caught from Hank. That could have been a huge frag, especially as kicker from CT boxes gets one, spots the second on Firebox, which will be called to the rest of his team. And that is the last player, so they know exactly where Moen is. They can home in on him. There's the grenade. They can land on top of Moen's head. He's down to 19. Make that 0. Bombs defused. Very nicely done. Once again for Vination. And look, Temp.no got a pick. They still lost the round.
Yeah, I think they need to. I think Temp.no need to try to sell a fake, simply put, or a double fake, because otherwise Vination are just confident in knowing exactly what they're going to do, whether it be an A-tick or a split A, because that seems to be the breadth of their strategy. They peppered in, I think, a single rush to B, and that was only when they assumed that Vination were saving, and so that's what's making their Mirage takes a little bit too easy to read.
I definitely agree. Definitely agree with you. And you can see that they are just getting frags. And again, Tybuster this time goes into mid, gets himself to, even if he fell down right now, his job's been done. He's done his work. But smartly, backs on off, says, okay, I can come back another day and lay down the pain. And Hank, meanwhile, chimes in onto PNT. So this is looking like it could very well go 18-15 in favour of Vination. And they only need 1 round on their T side to seal it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just as you say. All you have to do is get your pick, get 2 if you have to, and then just fall off. You win the round. Oh, the trade, the instant trade.
And now Moen in a 1 versus 4, 50 seconds. He does have the bombs. There's a couple of saving graces. There's maybe a silver lining to that very dark cloud looming overhead. But that's all it is a silver lining, because he's got 41 HP, 4 players to find. And 35 seconds. So even time itself is an enemy at this point for him. He's got a player to his left-hand side. That's kicker. And Hank is in ramp. I don't see him winning this trade. There we go. 18-15 at the halftime of the first overtime. And remember, 19 is all that's required here to take this map home.
Yeah, I'm sure Temp.no are a little bit upset at themselves for not figuring out the CD side a little bit earlier there, but or excuse me, Vination. But at the same time, Temp.no did maybe seem a little bit more sporadic in regulation in terms of where they were trying to work towards, and kept that mystery up. And I guess as the rounds went on, it became more and more obvious that A and mid were just where Vination needed to focus on, and that once mid was taken, it was probably going to be a late A. Like Temp.no, I don't think it's split B once.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically what you said before we got into overtime, is they need to plug those gaps. That's exactly what they did, and they are now in a great position to win this map, barring a great CT side now from Temp. Here comes the smokes. It's going to be a set play, set piece, and effect. Molotov's not going to do enough to detract Vination from pushing in. We saw this so many times in regular time, and Verdan once again gets himself the opening pick onto A site. But there is a player there hanging around the corner.
Oh, they don't see him.
He's still alive. He's going to start to do the damage. The bomb's been planted, but he got a kill, and now they're on the site. What a strange round this has been. Kick is still in connector. He could still have a say in this round. No, he won't. And the CTs are bouncing back. This is... What a strange round this has been. It's still not over just yet. The defuse is coming in. He's going to hold on to this defuse. 2 seconds, 1 second of Vination. Get it. And the seesaw yo-yo of Counter-Strike continues and bounces back up in Vination's favour. They pick it up 19-15. What an odd map that ended up being.
Yeah, just 4 rounds in a row from Vination after such a strong second half performance from Temp.no. Even though that was answered originally by Vination's strong T half, but coming in with those 3 CT rounds in a row, I don't think anyone could have anticipated. But well played by them. I think they just, yeah, again, I think it was trading and maybe being a little bit, maybe getting a little telegraphed there from Temp.no on the T side coming into those later rounds of the non-regulation rounds. But who knows if that would have been the same case for Vination on their T side. Fortunately for them, they only had to do one round.
Yeah, which they very nearly threw away because they just didn't check
Yeah,
Shadow, I think it was.
yeah, that
It
was
just
close.
very, very strange. But I think that's going to do it for today from us. Unless there's another game that I wasn't aware of. I think
No,
that's it.
yeah, that's it.
So it's been a pleasure. Thank you. I'd just like to thank CEVO for getting me involved, and it's been awesome to cast with you, Launders. Really enjoyed myself, man.
Yeah, you did great, man.
And do you have any final thoughts or remarks before we obviously send it to commercials and all that good stuff?
Drive safe.
Drive safe, drink responsibly, and
Yes.
we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks so much for watching.